Hello and welcome back to PSN News. I'm Amanda Weissman. Here with me tonight is Ben Brauser, the Director of Government Affairs for UPUA and the President of Lion Caucus at Penn State. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, Ben.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. Pleasure is ours. So what exactly is Lion Caucus and what does your role as president entail?
Lion Caucus is a student organization here at campus that's closely affiliated with the administration's Office of Government and Community Relations. So we work closely with them to communicate with state legislators to advocate for Penn State initiatives. Chief among those is our advocacy agenda to increase Penn State appropriations. You may be familiar that Penn State is a state appropriated school. That means we receive a certain endowment from the state of Pennsylvania. As an organization, we work closely with Penn State's Office of Government Communications to reach out to those legislators and ask them to increase the annual appropriation for students.
Wow, that's amazing. So as president, is there anything that you specifically have to do for your role that goes hand in hand, or you guys kind of all just work together to do it?
I definitely think there are some unique obligations as the president. Certainly, I am the spokesperson for the organization, and in that capacity, I act as the liaison between the student side of the organization and the administration side. And a lot of the times, that means taking student concerns to administration, hearing what administration has to say, and then coming back to students with what we can realistically implement.
No, that's incredible. So with that being said, how do you engage with those students and figure out, okay, this is what they want, this is what they need, and actually voice their opinions to legislators? How do you engage with them?
One of our biggest challenges is making sure that we're reflecting the perspectives of all students here on campus. And that includes students from the Commonwealth campuses across Pennsylvania. We don't just want to be focused on students here at University Park. In order to reach out to them, I've worked closely with some of the other students that are involved in advocacy projects at campuses across the Commonwealth. There's the CCSG, they have a Director of Governmental Affairs, the UPUA, and several partisan organizations on campus that we closely communicate with, and we really look for feedback on what issues they're hearing from students, and then we ask how we can take that and evolve it into our own advocacy strategy.
So besides that, so after you talk with everyone, you kind of figure out what needs need to be done, wants, everything, how do you ensure that they kind of listen to you, that they're hearing everyone's voice?
So it is a challenge. We know that there are members of both political parties in the State House and that they're coming from different perspectives on Penn State appropriations, on issues like Pell Grants and Title IX. So we try to cater our asks to the representatives and what we know about them. So if we identify that a representative is representing a district with a Penn State campus, we'll approach them and talk about the economic impact that our campuses have had on their local community. And we really try to connect it with things that they can resonate with and that are relevant to their constituents. So when we have representatives that represent a Penn State district, we talk about how Penn State has created jobs in that community and provided educational opportunities to people throughout the Commonwealth.
So obviously yesterday was election day.
Certainly.
Yeah, I'm sure, honestly, we'll touch on this later, but the preparation. But how did you kind of engage with students too going into election day? You know, making sure the candidates, everything. Did you guys do anything like seminars or?
Yeah, so I, as the Director of Government Affairs for the UPUA, was involved in a collaborative project that we call PSU Votes. And that is an umbrella organization that includes a lot of different groups on campus. One of the premier events that we hosted was the Penn State Votes debate, where we invited college Republicans, college Democrats, and college independents to the Hub Robinson Center, and we had a 2-hour debate with them on the topic of education, and I was a moderator for that event. We invited organizations across campus to come, and we had a very strong attendance. Over 100 students came to view the debate.
Oh, that's incredible. I was going to say the turnout must have been awesome. What did that, what exactly did that do for the organization and also for students? Do you know anything firsthand how?
Certainly. One of our best metrics for measuring success of the PSU Votes initiatives is seeing how many students register to vote. So as I saw earlier on PSN News, you guys were in the hub on the ground. We had numerous organizations there over the past several months, encouraging students to register to vote here in Center County, providing them with information on how to vote by mail, and also giving them resources to help them vote in their home districts. We saw a record registration among students to vote here in State College and to do mail-in ballots. So we were really excited to see students turning out to vote in yesterday's elections.
You guys have definitely be proud of all your initiatives you guys have put in to kind of do that. So is there anything that you guys specifically did to prepare for yesterday's election day?
A lot of the work that goes into elections surprisingly happens months in advance. When we're trying to get students to register to vote, something that people often don't realize is that the deadline is far in advance of the actual election day. So if the day before election you realize you haven't registered, oftentimes that's already too late. So we try to get the word out about elections as far in advance as we can. We had meetings over the summer and began tabling as early as October to ensure that students were ready when election day came.
So besides kind of preparing for that, obviously you just said months in advance, you guys put a lot of work into this. How do you guys spread awareness leading up to actual election day?
A lot of our work is on the ground. Being in the hub, we know that's a heavily trafficked area, so we try to table in the hub very often. We bring out creamery ice cream for students as a way to draw them in and then speak to them about some of the reasons to vote as a student. Additionally, we've really been active on our social media platforms. I think engagement on the UPUA and Lion Caucus Instagrams has been phenomenal, as well as the other organizations that participate in Penn State Votes.
Incredible work. So before we wrap this up, I just wanted to know, obviously, you know, students, not everyone's very educated on voting, whatever it is, but what would your advice be to someone that says, well, why would I vote? My vote doesn't matter.
My advice to students who feel like they don't know enough about the elections to have a meaningful vote is to really just take the time and look up some of the resources that are readily available. I don't believe that someone needs to be an expert in order to vote. That's a big part of democracy, is that people are supposed to be bringing their own perspectives, their own life experiences into the ballot. And you shouldn't discredit your own experiences just because you're not sure that you're an expert on a certain policy. I think that everyone has a unique and valuable perspective. As far as students' votes not counting, I think that they should just look at the election results from yesterday. There are numerous results that have yet to be declared because the races were so tight. And oftentimes we see entire elections coming down to a few thousand or a few hundred votes. So I would certainly argue that every vote matters.
I definitely agree with that. Great advice. So thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate you being here. Next up, Madeline and Zachary will bring us the latest news from across the nation. We'll be right back.